Welcome back to Some Offense Intended. I'm Jeremy Robinson.
I'm Mike Mick.
Mike was staring at me because I just said I'm going to trust Riverside and not record it on the Roadcaster also.
Yeah, that's living dangerously.
Well, like the last 20 episodes, we haven't had issues since we figured out the fucking auto mute shit and like where to check it right here.
Yeah, but you know.
And the SD card's almost full over here, so I'm going to have to wipe that soon anyway.
All right, that's fine then. So how did you start your day today?
By forgetting to upload today's podcast.
Oh.
Well, I guess last week's when you hear this. Episode 75.
Well, I started my day being woke up by the sound of somebody yelling, fuck.
Oh, there you go.
He's outside just yelling, fuck, 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 fuck. And then I swear he said, fuck the universe. And then fuck you, fuck this, fuck that. And then just fuck, fuck. I'm like, what the hell?
Was it at like 8:45?
No, a little bit after that. But,
okay.
Yeah, but it was...
At
one point, it was just a steady stream. I don't even know how many times he said it, but he just over and over and over again.
Because I woke up today with no alarm. It was nice. I went to sleep at like 1:30, and then I was like, I'll set an alarm for 9:30 because if I make it 8 hours, like I should probably get up and do stuff.
Yeah, I always wake up without an alarm. I haven't set an alarm in so long.
Yeah, well, you also sleep like 3 hours at a time.
If I'm lucky. But it was weird because I heard the person yelling dropping the F-bomb over and over again. And then I heard somebody running down the hall of my apartment. I'm like, was that person yelling fuck inside the building? Because
they made it inside.
Am I going to have to arm myself? And
get the deagle. Did you say beagle? Yes, we'll go with that.
Yeah, it was just an unusual... Well, for most people, it would be an unusual way to wake up in the day.
Yeah, not for Mike.
No, I don't have to set an alarm. I got tweakers outside yelling shit to wake me up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set a tweaker call for.
Hey, if you come yell at 9:30 every morning, I'll throw you a meth rock. I'm not gonna tell you what days I'm gonna throw it to though. So you have to do it every day.
I have to do it every day and hope that.
And it'll be a surprise when you get it.
If you don't successfully wake me, you're not getting it.
You might have like 30 of them out there every day, just fighting.
Oh
like,
yeah,
like the seagulls on Nemo. Just mine. Just flocking.
Once word gets out, there's just everybody out there yelling shit in the morning.
That would be a sight to see.
That would be. I wouldn't want.
I have an idea on what you should do this next week.
Yeah, until the police come and be like, "Why are you handing out meth to the?"
I'm not. You don't ever have to do it.
No, you don't ever actually put it down there.
Yeah, you just
say it's going to happen.
Yeah, they're going to be convinced it's going to happen.
Yeah,
like somewhere between 5 days and 25 days, I might provide it, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, I have to do this every day now.
I have to make sure I don't miss it."
Yeah. And it'll
every day they'll be getting up. It'll be today's the day. Today's the day.
They're not going to be getting up if they're tweaking. They're up.
Well, I mean, they're headed that way.
Oh, okay.
They're not actually getting up.
Yeah.
Put on the good clothes. We're gonna go get some free meth today.
I'm sure those words have been uttered so many times in Reno.
Well, some people have church clothes. Some people have meth clothes.
I don't think, well, maybe like to cook in. I don't think people have like, let's go put on some
well, for a special
clothes.
occasion, We're getting the blue stuff today. Let's go ahead.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So the only note I have, and it'll kickstart a pretty big conversation because of.
Well, let me tell my Popeyes story before that. So because we won't get to me if we get to your story first.
Okay.
I went to Popeyes last week, and I get there. I order my food. I order a chicken sandwich. I order some chicken nuggets. With my chicken sandwich, I order mac and cheese as my side dish. It costs extra for mac and cheese. Just first of all.
Okay.
So I get there, and I give them plenty of time to make my food. Of course, it's not ready when I get there. Somebody else's food is sitting up there at the pickup spot, ready to go, but not mine. So I'm not excited about this. So then the person behind the counter is like, okay, what was yours? So I tell him my name. He comes back, oh, we're out of mac and cheese. Would you like something else? I'm like, well, what else can I get? Mac and cheese already cost extra. I don't want to get something that costs less as a substitute. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, and then he offers me the different side. So I end up getting fries. And then my chicken nuggets. He comes to me. He's like, we're out of chicken nuggets.
So they haven't looked at anything for this order yet.
Well, yeah, apparently not. They didn't have, the truck didn't show up.
Wow.
So like they had half my order of chicken nuggets. Like I ordered 12 pieces. They had 6 pieces.
Like 5 and a crumb.
Yeah. And he's like, well, would you like some tenders instead? I'm like, well, the tenders aren't as good. They really aren't. They taste different.
Yeah.
So he's like, what else would you like? I'm like, well, what can I get?
Yeah. What do you have? You already like 2 of the 3
Because I mean, I could say I
want
want an 8-piece bucket, all breasts. Give me that instead.
Yeah, and then you could tell me, oh, I'm out of breasts.
So he's like, I'm like, fine, I'll take another sandwich. So then when I get home with all my food, I look in my bag. There's 2 sandwiches in there. There's 6 chicken nuggets, 3 biscuits instead of just 2, a whole shit ton of fries. I'm like, I got a lot more food than I was supposed to get. So I was actually kind of surprised.
And still wrote an email.
Yeah. Well, they gotta get their. It's not my responsibility to get their deliveries there.
No,
I'm not
no,
the
it's not.
logistics person. You gotta. How do you not get food there? And don't tell me the pandemic.
Yeah, that's over.
Yeah, that's not an answer anymore. There's many times they were actually out of chicken one day when I went there.
Out of all chicken?
Like chicken, like they only had spicy.
Jesus.
Yeah, it might be the worst location.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of times on Mondays, if I'm planning on getting Popeyes on the week, I pick it up on the way home from here.
Yeah.
Because they actually will have my food ready when I get there, and it will be most likely correct.
That's surprising because you go to the Popeyes by the Legends. That's the only fucking place that's fucked up my order most often.
Yeah.
I've only been there like 3 or 4 times, and it's been 2 or 3 of those times.
I've been there like 4 times, and 3 of the 4 it was correct.
Wow.
Where at the other location,
I'm running the opposite odds than you.
The other location, the odds are a little bit different. But there was still that day that I got my sandwich, and I get into my car and I look at it because I just had a feeling, and it had the stuff on it I didn't want.
Yeah.
So I went on my app and I was like, fuck this. I didn't say that, but I let them know my displeasure. They gave me points to get a free sandwich. Then I took the sandwich inside and said, this isn't supposed to have this. And so, well, I don't want to not have the sandwich. Like, I could get the points and get a sandwich the next day.
Yeah.
But then what do I do for dinner that night?
Yeah.
And
No, I mean,
it's appalling.
I think at this point it's called a miking.
Yeah. Yeah, they know it's me.
So one of the things you said, it just made me think of something today. So I've been helping a buddy with a car, and because he was going to buy the car from me, and then he was going to sell it to somebody else, and that kid ended up not wanting it because somebody was like, no, it doesn't sound right, and like the engine's blown, but it still runs and drives. So the kid wanted his money back, and I'm like, I'll call the junkyard because the title's still in my name. I'll call the junkyard and see how much they'll give us for it. It's an '08 Jetta.
Mm-hmm.
And I figure it's going to be like $500, $600 from a junkyard. I'm like, that might be okay with him. I don't know. So talking to the guy at the junkyard, and he's like, okay, like, what's your phone number? What's your name? What's this? What's that? And like information about the car, give him all the information. And he's like, okay, like while our system processes our offer, I want to remind you that this offer is based on current scrap prices and the demand for parts in your area. Like that, I know he has to say that.
Yeah.
If anybody's been to a junkyard, VWs are picked clean often. Especially a Wolfsburg edition that has like the special shit. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. So he comes back and goes, our system says that we can offer you $100. How do you feel about that? Or how does that sound?
Not good.
And I'm like, that sounds fucking awful, bro. Like I'm like, that honestly sounds really low. Oh, okay. What were you hoping for? I was hoping for at least 600. Like it's running and drive. I can drive it to the junkyard. Like that should be worth something fucking right there.
Yeah.
More than $100 for an '08. Like you can go in the junkyard and find like 70s and 80s shit. Like that's a 2008. It's a lot newer than a lot of shit in the junkyard.
Mm-hmm. And it runs.
And
and it gets good mileage when it runs.
I mean, maybe.
Well, it's supposed to.
It does have a couple issues. Like I don't know if it's intake related or spark plugs. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with it. I haven't looked at it that much. But he's like, okay, well, let me see what we can do. Like, I didn't know you could negotiate with the fucking junkyard on how much money they'd give you. And he goes, okay, well, it looks like we won't be able to do the full 600. However, we could go up to $211. What do you think? I was like, I think I will keep it. Like I'm good. I appreciate your time. Bye. Like that's.
Yeah, he really stretched it going up to 211. I mean, if he didn't throw the 11 in there.
It more than doubled the offer.
Yeah.
But still, that's. I don't know when they went to that low of a fucking price that they would give people. Like it always used to be the joke of like, if I can't get $500 for this car, I'll go sell it to Pick and Pull for $300. $100?
Yeah, it's.
So like that's wow. Yeah. So there you go. There's that. All right. So this next one. So how do you know how fat society has gotten?
I know how fat I've gotten.
So there is a disorder. They named it. Or if you care.
If they named it after me, I'm gonna fucking be pissed off.
If you care about eating healthy too much, it's not after you.
No. Okay.
So I'll read the little blurb right here, and then we'll get going on it.
First, I will have you know I do eat healthy animals.
So it's called orthorexia nervosa. Is perhaps best summarized as an obsession with healthy eating with associated restrictive behaviors. That part's a little weird. It says, however, the attempt to attain optimum health through attention to diet may lead to malnourishment, loss of relationships, and poor quality of life. I have several questions.
Yeah.
One being, because there's a lot of people that are like obsessed with healthy eating.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are super fit or actors or like just everybody, whatever, that are pretty obsessed with healthy eating. At what, like, how obsessed do you have to be to ruin your fucking life?
That's a good question.
Because that seems like, and that they would name it.
Let me ask this though: if somebody is that obsessed, and then they say mix in a cheeseburger, does that take them out of the nosedive? Do they?
I don't know, but I was asking Russell this, and he goes, "Honestly, that's pretty easy to answer your question, Jeremy. They're vegans."
Yeah, yeah.
Because like, vegans won't talk to certain people. If you eat meat, and like they'll cut them out of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I mean, looking at it like that, yeah, I guess that's a fair point. And he goes, and look at how awful most of them feel or look. Like, because it's not a lot of like, there's certain ways you can do a vegan diet that might be okay, but that's a lot of nutrients. You're not a lot of different.
Well, a lot of them have to take a whole lot of supplements.
Yeah, like you can still get a lot of proteins with a bunch of different legumes.
Yeah,
but like you can get all the nutrients you need, quote unquote, but it's not like the premier nutrients that your fucking body needs. Like it's not the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Even though it might be the cream of the crop. I didn't even mean that when I first started saying it.
Yeah.
It was great.
I was just saying, I was joking with somebody who texted me earlier, and she said something about she's going to find something to eat. So I'm like, oh, you're going to go hunt for some food. She's like, I'm at home, yeah. And I'm like, I figured you were going to grab a spear and go big game hunting or something, which I don't know that there's really big game in northern Nevada, but big for the area.
There's deer. There's horses. There might be something.
But vegans might have a point. You don't have to sneak up on a carrot.
I don't know. Have you seen some of them? They might have to.
Yeah. Well, not the carrot, but the people. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, so one of our old leads, me and Mike used to work on the same line, and one of our old leads was a vegan.
She used to hate it when I'd eat a plate of steak.
Yeah. And so I was telling Russell about several different times. He's like, no, like she never really seemed bothered. Like when I would sit next to her and eat, because Russell eats a lot of meat too. I'm like, that's weird, because she definitely like was bothered when I would sit down with a steaming plate of pork or steak or whatever.
I would literally have just steak on my plate. It would not be anything else. No vegetable, no bread. No
I'd
nothing.
bring in the Tupperware of like heavily meat, and then like either rice or maybe a couple veggies, not often. And I'd go warm it up in the microwave, and then I'd come sit down and like open the lid so all the smell is like freshly released.
Yeah.
And she'd just look over and be like, that smells awful. And I'd like sit up out of my chair a little bit and look at what she had. Like, I know, it doesn't even look good either. How do you eat all that? She's like, no, the meat you're eating.
She gave me such a dirty look when I was carrying a plate and it had a double order of steak on it. Oh my God. I miss getting that steak. It was cheap and it was actually pretty good.
That's why they stopped. That's why they have terrible food now. It's because of us.
Yeah.
They ate too much fucking steak.
Well, one person got let go, and the day after, the very next shift after, they didn't have the steak anymore. He's the one who got me eating it.
Yeah. It was great. I got him eating it because he was only eating goldfish. Well, bro, you need to fucking eat something.
He would have energy drinks and goldfish.
Red Bull, coffee, and goldfish. That's all he'd have. Like, bro, you need to fucking, like, it's protein. It's healthy for you. Go get some steak. Come on. And he's like, oh my God, it's so good. I'm like, nutrition is good. Yes.
We always talked about getting protein before going back to the line.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, like, I can see how, like, being a vegan, because, like, they're fucking obsessed. Like, vegans is, like, a cult.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because it's even further than
it's worse than CrossFit.
But I mean, it's worse than it's further step than vegetarians.
Yeah, like vegetarians will eat. Vegetables, but they'll eat a lot of different shit. But vegans is like absolutely nothing can be harmed or whatever. Which a lot of farmers. Have you read what a lot of farmers say like about and to vegans? They're like, if you had any idea how many animals I have to kill to protect crops, you wouldn't be able to eat anything.
Yeah.
Like,
and you know that broccoli? It had a mother.
Of like, of like field mice, gophers, birds, like all kinds of like just ground rodents and air rodents, all the fucking ones that just want to eat everything and steal everything. Yeah, like they kill a lot of animals.
If you really think that they have scarecrows out in their fields and that's what takes care of all the animals, think again. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no, because he got off and found a brain, so he's good.
Yeah.
Or well, no, yeah.
Well, and some of them, they're not very fast, and they're in those fields, and they go through with those big combines and all those other things. No, the animals.
Oh, got it.
So they
I was thinking the same thing.
They can get caught in those little machines.
They talk about that often too.
Yeah.
Of like if vegans if you're vegan and listening or watching this, that surprise.
If you're vegan and you know it, clap your hands.
They're too weak. Let them rest.
Yeah. Yeah, don't clap your hands. I don't want you to use all your energy for the day.
But yeah, that's like, and then like you always say, like, if being vegan or vegetarian was so awesome, why do they always make like,
why are they trying to make plants taste like meat?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they never try to make meat taste like a fucking broccoli.
No, I've never seen a place go, you know what, we got these cheeseburgers, but we made them taste like broccoli. Come on in. Yeah. We got this burger that tastes like a salad. No. If I want a salad, I'll eat a salad. You know, that's the thing. Like, see, we're omnivores, so we can eat all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm, you know, it's like The Simpsons. You don't make friends with salad.
What?
There's an episode of Simpsons when they're having a barbecue, and Lisa had just become a vegetarian, and she said something about it. He's like, about meat, and saying they could serve salad, and Bart and Homer start singing and dancing. You don't make friends with salad. If I invited you to a barbecue and all I had was fucking salad.
Well, I've seen a couple things too of like
That's not a barbecue.
There's a certain thing you can do to sauce and grill like cauliflower that it looks like wings.
Yeah, I've heard about cauliflower wings. I guess there's a place called Flowing Tide has cauliflower wings.
I've seen like the pictures on Facebook of it and like just read the comments. Like look it up and just read the comments.
Right.
One of them's like, if I show up to a barbecue and bite into a wing and find out it's just cauliflower, I'm fucking burning your house down.
I was thinking I might throw it at you.
Like I'm flipping that grill over and letting happen what happens.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's like all the comments are a bunch of shit like that. Like what people would do if they went to a barbecue or if they went somewhere, they're like, oh my God, here's some wings. And they're like that because I mean, a lot of food smells good.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. A lot of food smells good. And then you bite into it thinking it's something. It might be good, but it's not fucking chicken.
No. And it can't be the texture of chicken either.
No. And there's fucking no bones in cauliflower, is there?
Well, I was just about to mention something. I saw something recently where they actually take like toothpicks to mimic having bones or some kind of skewer in there to make it seem like it has a bone.
That seems so fucking dumb.
It's so extra.
And inefficient. Like, that might be the best part about being a vegan or vegetarian is you can just eat everything. Yeah. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Just
you don't have to worry about choking on a bone. But now you're going to put a fake bone in there.
Yeah.
To make you feel like you're eating.
Reminded me that there was a picture of this corn dog this lady had at Sonic.
Yeah.
And the dude took a picture of it because, like, somebody bit the top of the fucking popsicle stick off.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck you want to call that.
Corn dog stick. Yeah.
It's not. It's a popsicle stick.
Okay. I thought it was a skewer. I didn't think it was.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember. But it was like the long kind of thin one, but it was like flat, like a popsicle stick.
They ate too much.
Yeah. And it was like somebody put this in here and like Sonic's trying to kill my pregnant wife and this and that. Bro, the comments on that were wild too.
Yeah.
It's like, tell your wife to slow the fuck down. Like, if you didn't know a corn dog had a fucking stick in it, maybe you shouldn't eat a corn dog.
What the fuck do you think you were holding it by?
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Do you think the stick just stops when you get to the hot dog?
Yeah.
No.
You think the stick stops at the bottom of the batter?
Yeah, it can't do that.
How does it hold it?
The physics would not allow that to hold it.
Gravity doesn't exist.
Yeah, but physics does.
Yeah. Speaking of gravity doesn't exist, we were going through right before we started recording, checking out the AI edited clips for the first episode that we did on video.
Yes.
And I think it looks good.
Yes,
so
I like it.
We downloaded a bunch of them, and we're gonna do. I need to drag a couple more around since I downloaded them. I can move where the clips are.
Yeah.
Because I want to do a lot more around the gravity doesn't exist shit.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of that was just fucking hilarious. But
that corn dog would have fallen off the shelf if, you know.
Oh yeah, 100%. But also, I mean, it's a little late for this, but the YouTube didn't allow us to upload episode 75 yet, so I need to figure out what's going on with that. But that should be up by the time this releases.
They killed Kenny. You bastards.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I do have
don't get too obsessed with healthy eating that you lose relationships and ruin your life.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you don't have any relationships and your life is ruined, you're just prolonging a ruined life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And get this, is that just because you eat well and you do all of that, it doesn't mean you're going to prolong. You could walk outside and get hit by a bus. So have that look to look forward to, you know?
I loved seeing those. I think we talked about this part before of like these, like this is a 30-year-old's lungs that did smoke, and this is 30-year-old's lungs that didn't smoke. I'm like, Did you just hear yourself say that again? Both of these fucking people are dead.
Both of them are dead. Same age.
Both of them are dead.
Yes.
Like, yes, the 30-year-old's lungs do look really healthy. The smoker's lungs do look very unhealthy. But they both died at 30.
They're both gone, yeah.
So,
when you're gone, do you really care what your lungs look like? You're in a box or cremated. What the fuck do you care?
Yeah.
Oh no, people are going to pick on my lungs.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. What are they going to say about me at the coroner's office?
Well, I don't think they cut everybody's lungs out to inspect them, Mike.
Well, I don't know who else I could have used, so I had to go with the coroner.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't think they go checking everybody.
Well,
maybe if they're organ donors, be like,
oh, we're not taking his lungs.
No, exactly. Be an organ donor and then just fuck everything up so bad that they're like, why was he an organ donor? He just wanted us to waste our money. They're like, this is fucking useless. This is fucking useless.
His liver's the size of a fucking house. We can't use that. His kidneys. Oh my God. What the fuck did he put in there?
Yeah.
Did he literally drink antifreeze before he died?
Like, oh, maybe I should have read the cause of death. He did. Yeah.
How many energy drinks did this guy drink?
Yeah.
He's gone, but the shit's still moving.
I was surprised how long, because like even in Vegas, what was it, like 2014, 2013? I went and had lab work done and like run everything. I want to know how shit is, because I had already been drinking for like 6 or 7 years, like extremely heavily.
Yeah.
And definitely not eating well. Definitely not great, but I was 150 pounds for like the longest time. I was fucking super skinny.
I was so skinny.
And then got tired of being a little guy, worked out with Russell, and put on 30 pounds of decent weight pretty quick. And then had an issue with driving, and then stopped driving to the gym because I backed into somebody leaving the gym parking lot because him and me both backed out at the same time. And I'll tell that story now too. I accidentally scared the shit out of that guy. So we exchanged information, and I was like, hey bro, like your shit, it was like barely. Like I've fucking stubbed my toe harder than I've fucking backed into this guy. And it bent like the support bar. It was a brand new like 2014 or 2015 Dodge. It bent the small aluminum support bar behind the bumper. So the bumper was like slightly tucked, but there's no marks on it. I'm like, bro, I have like 5 friends that work at body shops. Like, I'll pay to fix it. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, see, no, like I just drove it off the lot like 2 weeks ago or what, I don't know. And talking about that. And I was like, okay, well, like here's all my information. I got all his information. And I'm like, just think about it before you report it to insurance, please. He goes, why, you don't have insurance? I'm like, no, I have insurance. I don't have a license right now. And he's like, oh, whoa, well. So I'm like, I go home, I call my lawyer, and I'm like, hey, what happens if I get caught driving without a license? And he's like, that's because of a DUI. That's 6 months in jail. Like, minimum. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm not driving anymore. And I was cleaning pools at the time. So I was driving like 100, 200 miles a day.
Yeah.
Cleaning pools, going to the gym, doing everything. Like, I still have to fucking make money and live, bro.
Yeah.
And found that out. I'm like, okay, called the boss. I'm like, hey, I quit. Fucking, this is why. He's like, oh, shit. Okay, well, if you ever want to clean pools again, let me know. I'm like, not really. So I stopped working out, and I gained like 30 pounds of bad weight. But around that time, and I'll tell you how I accidentally scared the kid in a second, because I just remembered what I was originally saying.
Yeah, I was gonna.
So I went and had lab work done, and I'm like, I'm sure there's something that's not right, and that I should have to adjust. Because I told the doctor like how much I drink and what I eat and like everything. It's like, she's like, oh well, like you probably like only like bacon a couple times a week. I'm like, no, I guess like because bacon was cheap then too. So, like I'll eat bacon almost every day. And like have like sometimes 3 to 5 eggs a day. But other than that, like everything else was like burgers, greasy shit, fried stuff, like everything. It doesn't matter. And she's like, oh, okay, so like definitely we'll get cholesterol levels in this and this and this and this. And then she calls me back to have another appointment to like go over everything. And I'm like, okay, so I go in and she's like going over it and she's like, and you said you don't really have like a diet or like something you stick to? I'm like, no, absolutely not. Like burgers, fried stuff, like anything I want, I eat all the time.
See, that's how you scared
Like
the guy at the
massive
gym.
amount of ice cream.
He was worried
like
about your health.
Everything all the time. And she's like, so your cholesterol's perfect. Like this is good. That's great. This is great. This is great. I'm like, okay, so just keep doing what I'm doing. She goes, I can't say that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, so that's why I think I went down.
Like, well, you can't say it, but that's what I got.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I went down a darker path for a while. Was like, oh, clearly, fucking nothing's happening, and then started feeling a lot shittier, doing everything the same. So I started being healthier. But so the dude called his insurance company. Didn't call me before he did. Called his insurance company and said that he had an injury. He injured his neck while during the accident. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no. I'm like, you can ask my passenger. You can ask his passenger. They're like, wait, his passenger, he said he's by himself. I'm like, no, he's not by himself. He works out with the same guy at the same time every morning. And they both come together every day. Every day at the same time, we're in the same gym together.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll talk to his insurance company, call him back. And I'm like, yeah, because like I can walk back in the gym after getting into a barely fender bender and then go fuck up my neck or my arm or something. Like I can just do something real quick and be like, oh, my accident. Like, no, that's not how it works. I'm like, okay, well, we'll call their insurance company and we'll let you know in the next like week or so what they want to do. So I had the guy's address. I already looked it up. He lived like a street or two behind my girlfriend at the time's dad.
All right.
So I had my girlfriend driving me around and I'm just kicking it in the passenger seat because I have a chauffeur. So I have my foot out the window on the mirror.
You're supposed to be in the back seat.
Just relaxing. Oh, well, you know.
Chauffeur's right in the front.
You can't put your foot on the mirror if you're sitting in the back seat. Unless you're Jeffrey.
You can put your foot on the back of their seat, though.
So we're going to her dad's house for a barbecue. And I see this dude walking with his wife and his kid. It's the guy from the gym. It's super like fire fucking orange hair. Like there's no mistaking this guy. So I see him walking and I wasn't trying to scare him. So I pull my foot off the mirror and like lean forward a little bit to like make sure that it is him. And he turned around because he heard my truck. He turned around like right as I leaned forward into like, I guess I was staring a little unhappily because, oh, that's that motherfucker that's like trying to get issues going, whatever. So accidentally leaned forward into like a death stare right as he turned around and fucking looked at me. And like, oh, okay, well, told my girlfriend, I'm like, that's the guy that I backed into it at the gym. And we just went to her dad's house, had a barbecue. I forgot all about it, kind of. The next day, my insurance company calls me and says that he dropped the whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, oops. Like, couldn't have fucking planned that one.
No.
Yeah.
He
like,
probably thought you were looking for him.
No, exactly. He forgot that we traded information. He didn't remember that he gave me his address. Like, I knew where he lived. I didn't think about doing anything the whole fucking time. Because I was over at the girlfriend's dad's house often. And I'm like, yeah, he just lives right there. I'm like, I'm not trying to do anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
like,
you just
to time it perfectly when he was walking back from the gas station getting ice cream with his chick and his kid. And accidentally leaned into a fucking death stare.
Yeah.
To like, oh, fuck, that's right. He knows where I live.
Yeah.
To like, yeah, he dropped everything.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, well.
He could have just had it fixed.
Whoops. Yeah. I'm like, I could have fixed it. Or I could have paid to have it fixed.
But no,
It probably costs like $20 fucking dollars.
I just got the car off the lot 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I can't get it fixed.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah. What do you think the insurance is going to do? They're going to send it to a body shop. What were you going to do? Send it to a body shop.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand.
No difference.
Yeah, there is one difference. One's reported on a Carfax.
Yeah.
So the way he was going to do it is actually worse.
Yeah.
Because now your truck's worth less to other people.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't think about stuff like that.
I do.
Not a lot. Not a lot of people do. So, yeah, I accidentally, intimidated the fuck out of somebody to drop an insurance claim.
Accidentally.
Yeah, it 100% accidental.
See, I thought you were saying he was getting scared because he was worried about your diet.
No. But yeah, accidentally fucking Tony Soprano'd somebody. And I was pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
Pretty proud of that.
You're so good, you do it on accident.
Tits.
You don't even have to try.
Yeah.
So I do want to tell this interesting story. There was I was watching Donut Operator again yesterday, so of course that means there was a police shooting of some kind.
Yeah.
Well, this guy, there was two people in this it looked like an SUV,
mm-hmm.
and one had a gun in his waistband. And then one officer's yelling, "Pull the other passenger out, he's got a gun." And it was talking about the driver. And you hear he's got a shotgun pointed at this driver, and he's telling him, "Put your hands up." And this guy, it's like he can't hear it. He's just sitting there. He's like playing with the steering wheel, doing all these other things. Yeah. And he's just not paying attention. And then he's like, "Do not reach for the gun or I will shoot you." And he keeps saying it. Then you see the guy's hand goes to his waistband.
With a shotgun.
The guy had the handgun in his waistband,
No.
but the police officer had a shotgun pointed at him.
The cop had a shotgun. I'm assuming about 2 feet away from his fucking head.
2 or 3 feet away from his head, yes.
And
the guy reaches for his gun, and it wasn't 2 or 3 feet away from his head anymore because his head mostly wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
And then they pull his body out and followed the procedure of handcuffing
a headless body,
mostly headless body. Yes. Because that is the proper procedure.
I've never understood that. I get it, but I don't understand it.
I mean, in that case, I don't think you really need to, because I don't think they're going to make a move for a gun.
Yeah, I don't care how much PCP you're on. You're not fucking getting up from that one.
No. Yeah.
There's no brain stem left, bro.
Yeah, I understand, like, if somebody gets shot in the shoulder or something and they're laying there, they're playing possum, they might try to get up. But, yeah, your head's gone. You're not getting up.
Wow.
But yeah, they handcuffed him, and at least I didn't hear him read them their right.
Yeah, you have the right to remain dead.
Yeah, you have the right to remain silent.
Silent.
Silent. What was that you said? Oh, you did it all? Okay. Anything you use can be used against you. Anything you say can be used against you in the court of law. And he's like, he's confessed. We got it.
Wow.
Some guy called. Oh, yeah. The great thing was you hear this person calling. He's got a thick accent. And they're like, he's got a fire alarm? Is the fire alarm going off? He's like, no, firearm. What? At that point, just say gun.
Yeah.
She's like, a gun? He's like, yeah, firearm. So Donut Operator kept saying, yeah, the fire alarm went off.
That was, so when I worked at Sam's Club in the tire shop, one of the guys, he was my boss at the time, Alex, he was funny as fuck. And he had some guy with super thick accent come in.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, do you guys have Michigan Tigers?" Like Michelin tires. But
yeah,
he's like, no, it was 100% Michigan Tigers. He's like, no, Michigan Bears. Or like whatever the fuck Michigan's team is.
Michigan has the Detroit Tigers. That's what I said. Isn't that in Detroit?
Oh, well, yeah. He's like, no. Like, and says something else. He's like asking like different teams, like just frustrating the guy. And he's like, oh, tires. I'm like, Jesus Christ. That's great.
That's great. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever had a gun pointed at you?
Oh, yeah.
How many?
Just a couple.
Okay. Well, like at the same time?
Well, once it was a couple at the same time, but the other time it was just one.
Okay. Um, so if a cop, I think it's worse when there's more cops
Yeah.
because then it's like everybody's yelling different shit. But if a cop has a gun pointed at you, you normally listen to him.
Yeah.
Normally.
The only one of them that pointed a gun at me was a cop.
What? So there was one time there's still 20 minutes left. I had a weird night in the end of October in Vegas that I had 40 cops, all guns drawn, pointed at me because there was a high-speed chase that not from the cops.
Yeah.
That's an important part of the story. I was not running from the cops, but so I was driving around with two kids that I'm very glad that I stopped hanging out with because I was the one that turned out great. One of them is in and out of juvie until he got old enough, then it was in and out of jail.
Yeah.
And one of them might be off of heroin. Maybe now. So
fingers crossed.
Yeah, so I'll leave their names out of it, but we were doing dumb shit and like, okay, this sounds kind of fun or stupid or I don't know, just figure out something to do. So driving around kicking it, and there was one of them put a bunch of bricks in the back of my car. And they're throwing bricks out the back of my window, like as we turn corners to like, oh, look how far the brick rolled, or that one broke, or this. Mm-hmm. So one of them throws it and it breaks somebody's taillight. And they're sitting outside smoking or whatever. They're outside, jump in their car and start fucking chasing us. I'm like, I don't know what to do, so I'm fucking running. And this night I also Dukes of Hazzarded my car. Like, it does go in slow motion when you jump a car.
Nice.
It's weird. So it's also very difficult to lose somebody when you're driving a 2000 Mazda Protege.
Yeah.
With a governor, I think it was like at 107. So I skateboarded like all the city streets in Henderson. So I'm, and it's late at night. Like, I think when I was handcuffed, it was just about midnight. Mm-hmm. So this started at like 10:30 or 11 o'clock because it wasn't like a super, super long. So super dark. So I turn my headlights off and I'm driving around. Like, I know these streets because I skate them all the time. So I'm just trying to lose them. And it's not easy. So I start going like to the outskirts where there's no street lights. And I'm just going probably 70, 80 down this road called Paradise Hills in Henderson. And there used to be a massive part where it dipped probably like 8 to 10 feet.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 to 20 feet, but it did it across another like 10 to 20 feet. So like it was a pretty steep dip.
Yeah.
And it curved at the same time. So I'm flying and I'm like, oh shit, this road has that dip. So I flip my headlights to see there's no road left. And I jam the steering wheel just in time to like, just right before the tires left the road. And so I follow the road, but now here's a dip. So now we're off the ground and it just starts floating. Everybody just, the same thing as in the movies. Like a couple things come up out of, because you're just falling and just like, oh, like everything seemed like it slowed down and then just like bottomed the whole car out and kept driving. And I'm like, that was one of the most thrilling and terrifying things that I've ever had happen.
Yeah.
Until later. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't lose them on the streets, so I'll go to the freeway. So I start going on the freeway and like keeping it like 3 miles an hour under the governor so that it doesn't slow it back down. And there's nobody on the freeway. It's the 95 at like 11:30. So I'm flying. I pass a semi and I'm going to get off at the Stephanie exit. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I don't know what these guys are trying to do. But Mervin's was still at the Galleria where all the cops, the substation was out back. So there's a shitload of cop cars out back. And I'm like, I'll just park in the middle of all the cop cars and they won't know where I am and they won't come over. Because I don't know what the fuck's going to go on.
Yeah.
If they catch up, if they get it.
So you weren't running from the cops. You were running to the police. Yeah.
I was going to try to run like kind of to the cops. I've never seen a cop there, but I know there's a shitload of cop cars there. So I'm about to get off at the Stephanie exit, just past this semi, And as I'm about to pass the semi, I see taillights on the shoulder. I'm like, fuck, I bet that was a cop. It was.
Yeah.
So I slam over up to the Stephanie exit. And about halfway up the exit, I remember how hard the cutback is to hit the Stephanie Bridge to Sunset. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I lock the brakes up. And then I end up hitting the curb. And I come like maybe 4 or 5 inches from hitting the streetlight. I'm like, oh, shit, that was close. Put it in reverse and then fucking hurry up. Go back across the Stephanie Bridge, pulling next to the cops.
Yeah.
Tell fucking Dildo and Dildette to dump the bricks under the cop cars. So those were never found. Thankfully, they never looked under the somebody. One of the cops when they backed up probably had a bad day because they're like, I don't know why there's 30 bricks. I don't know, it's like 12 bricks under my car. So I go park over there and see them coming. I'm like, there's no way that they fucking know that I was over here. And I see them like jamming in the parking lot, like maybe going to try to park me in. So I back out and go to take off again. And I see a cop car start leaving. And I'm like, that's the first cop car that I've ever seen with someone in it here. So I flash my lights at him and he like stabs on the brakes and starts like a dead slide, turns sideways. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. So like as he was doing that, like, have you seen it's either in a movie or something where he like rips the e-brake and opens the door and just walks out of the car?
Yeah.
It looked like the car was about to do that.
That's what I do when I come here.
With how aggressive he fucking hits it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, shit. So I pull the e-brake, turn the car off, and I have the keys in my hand and hands up. My friends are like, what are you doing? I'm like, you might want to do the same. Bro, it was within like 30 seconds. There was like 30 fucking cars and SUVs surrounding us, all out, guns drawn. Get out of the fucking car. Put your hands in the air. Throw the keys on the windshield. So like, open the door slowly, throw the keys on the windshield, get out. So all of us get out, get down, we get handcuffed. And then the cop's like, whose car is this? I'm like, it's mine. We're like, well, you fucking, all kinds of shit. You fucking dumbasses. I don't know what you fucking think, blah, whatever. So they're like, all right. So
they have to give you a lecture.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, well, whose car is this? I'm like, it's mine. They're like, and where's the registration? I'm like, the insurance. I'm like, it's in the glove box. I just remembered one of my friends put a bunch of weed in my glove box because he didn't want it on him. And this was in 2007. I think it was 2007.
Yeah.
So like that had been a big issue for sure.
Yeah.
So he's walking around the car. He opens the passenger door to get the glove box. And as he opens the passenger door, he's like, wait, I didn't see any plates on this car. Is it registered? Oh, like actually, I have custom plates on the way, so I have a temporary moving permit in the windshield. Okay. Shuts the passenger door, never looked in the glove box.
Nice.
Writes all this stuff down, and then, yeah. So one of the kids, the one that was in and out of juvie, they went and took him behind one of the SUVs to search him. And then they just, like, searched us. They're like, anything in your pockets I need to know about? I'm like, I mean, do you want to know about all of it? They're like, you know what's in your... I'm like, yeah, they're my pockets. Like, I know what's in them. And like, left pocket is like 3 lighters in my wallet. Or no, my wallet was in my back pocket at the time. There's like 3 lighters, a bunch of coins. Like, I think I told him exact change. And then like this. And like, okay. Like, looked at me like weird as shit that I knew exactly what was in my fucking pockets. And they're like, okay. And then I had a Halo 3 shotgun shell keychain. They were unhappy about that. Like, you can feel that it's fucking rubber. They were trying to like break it open to make sure it wasn't a real shotgun shell on a keychain that I was going to somehow, while handcuffed, fucking shoot off.
Yeah.
Like, that's, what is this? Like, just fucking mad.
You're just going to put it in your mouth and shoot it out of your mouth.
Yeah.
With your handcuffs on.
Exactly.
Yeah. I had a similar situation when I was banned from a mall for life. And they had me
Until
outside.
Next week.
Well, I ended up working there less than a year later. But I was out in the parking lot, and the police were... Keep in mind, I was in high school. And they were frisking me and asking me about what's in my pockets. So I told them, like you said, I told them everything that was in my pockets because they're my pockets. I put the stuff in there. I know what I left my house with that day before I went to the mall to apparently get banned for life. I ended up actually working across the hall from the place I got in trouble at. Literally. I would see it every day. It was one of those Annie M's.
Oh, okay.
Or it was one of the places. I know they had cinnamon rolls, but it wasn't Cinnabon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know you can get a bucket of the Auntie's pretzels, the pretzel bites, for $20? It's like 150 or 170 of those pretzel bites.
I did not know that.
You can get a bucket.
I like to get a bucket of the pretzel dogs. Those things are fucking awesome.
I would rather go get a bucket of the Auntie's pretzel bites to take to a movie for $20 than a bucket of popcorn for $20. I think that would be a lot better idea.
Yeah. I'd take the pretzel dogs to a movie. I would.
So
I had the pretzel dogs one of the times I was at the mall recently, and it was pretty great.
back to the arrest. I wasn't arrested because I was a minor, so they had to call my parents. So my parents come, and they call another friend of mine to come drive the car back. And they're like, okay, well, this and this, something. So they call the parents of the friends too. It ends up, I knew the guy that was driving the other car. If I stopped like originally and been like, fuck, my bad. Like, here's $100 for a taillight or whatever, however much it was.
Yeah, I don't know why you broke my taillight.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been an issue.
That was my taillight. I had to chase you all over the town to try to get my taillight.
Yeah. Yeah. So it would have not been an issue. So they didn't want to press charges. So I ended up getting reckless driving, failure to maintain lane, and like one or two other things just from that cop that I passed on the shoulder right before the exit. Yeah. That's the only reason that I got any of it. And
yeah, he's the one who saw it all.
Yeah. He only saw those.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah. So, and then what was it? I got grounded because I was like, I think I was 17.
Yeah.
I got grounded from my car, my cell phone, and like, I don't remember, a bunch of different shit until like one day later because I was working at the mall at the time. I was working at Finish Line. Mm-hmm. And my mom dropped me off for work. And I'm like, okay, like the store closes at 9, like, cause the mall closes at 9.
Yeah.
Like I'll be outside at 9:05, 9:04. Like, because there's nothing ever, like the store's never open late. Like we close, we're out.
Yeah.
That's it. Like 9:07, cause we have to fucking count the money.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah.
Like we normally have that counted like 5 minutes before closing anyway, cause nobody pays cash in the last fucking 5 minutes. So I'm sitting on the curb at 9:05. I'm sitting on the curb at 9:35. I'm sitting on the curb. So I'm like, okay, well, I walk over to Best Buy and a friend of mine's working. I'm like, hey, can I get a ride home? She's like, yeah, what happened? So I told her. So I waited till we got on the ride home, called my mom on her cell phone. And I was like, hey, she's like, who's this? I'm like, this is your son. Like, oh, I was trying to, because like as soon as we shut the roll cage at Finish Line, I heard the phone ring. I was like, I bet that's my mom asking if she still should pick me up at 9:05. I knew that was going to be her. Yeah. I tried to call to see if it was still the same time. I'm like, I told you we shut the gate like at 9:02. And she called it like 9:02 and a half.
Yeah. And you're on the other side of the gate at that point.
Yeah. I'm like, so we're not lifting the gate and resetting the alarm to answer the phone at fucking 9 p.m. No, that's not happening. So like my mom felt awful. So I got my keys back. I got my phone back. I got like, it was the shortest I've ever been grounded. And it was probably the most serious shit I've been grounded for.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to get grounded a lot. And, I was a bad kid, so I didn't always pay attention to it.
Yeah. Smoking in the principal's office, bathroom, whatever.
Bathroom. Yeah.
Potato, tomato.
But that reminds me, the being pulled over thing. A friend of mine and I, we were over in this industrial area, a lot of factories and shit. His brother worked at a place over there. He was old enough to buy beer, and we were not. So he'd picked us up some beer, and it was in his car. So we went there to get it from him, and we're driving along. And my friend still had snow tires on his car, studded snow tires.
Yeah.
Which you're not supposed to drive. You're supposed to take those off at some point.
At some point, but nobody's told anybody around here either.
Well, somebody told him because we're driving down the road, and you had to see this officer Holy shit. You would think we were some kind of America's Most Wanted. This guy, he flipped his car around. It looked like he was starting a chase scene from a movie. It was crazy. You hear his wheels. You see his car just spinning around and come shooting after us to let us know that he has snow tires and give him a ticket for it. Now, when he was pulling up, I opened up the glove box right away because he's going to need the registration and everything like that. But I also knew that underneath my knees, underneath this glove box, was a bunch of beer.
Yeah.
So when that box was down and my legs were over it, he couldn't see the beer. So he gave him a ticket for the tires, but didn't notice that there was 2 minors with a case of beer in the front seat. So we didn't.
That's good.
Yeah, we got away with that one.
I also like how much cops fucking are upset if you take your seatbelt. Like, so most of the time, I wait for the cop to get up to the window to do anything.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking angry as fuck if you look at them wrong or say, "Hi, officer."
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking respectful. But they just treat me like shit when I call them officer or sir. Like, I have friends that call them pieces of shit, and like they treat them with better respect than me.
I don't understand it.
So, and I've also seen people have issues with like, oh, well, why'd you take your seatbelt off? So I could reach to the glove, because they already had the registration and insurance.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, so I could go to the glove box comfortably and get the registration and insurance. So they were trying to write them a seatbelt ticket too.
Yeah, I've gotten that happen to me.
And they're like, no, like I unbuckled it to get the stuff. Like, what do you think, I'm flexible?
Somebody asked me about mine. They're like, yeah, you're not wearing your seatbelt. I said, no, I took it off when you pulled me over so I can get the stuff out of the glove box. He's like, are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Are you sure about that?
So one time though, speaking of, there was a time that I did not hide the beer as well, and I got what was called a minor in possession. So, and we're standing in front of this judge. This judge is talking to us, and I swear this guy is giving us a lecture. At first, he's asking us all these questions about where do we get the beer. We're not going to tell on somebody who bought it for us. We're not stupid.
There's a lot of people that would.
Yeah, well, snitches get stitches. So we're talking.
And don't get any more beer.
Yes, that too. So he's literally giving us a lecture about, the evils of alcohol and all of this. And I'm thinking to myself, the guy who was just in front of us literally beat somebody unconscious, put the person in the hospital so he could steal his fucking wallet. And all he did was get his sentence. Me, I get a talk because I had a fucking beer.
Well, they have to help the youth of America.
The only reason the guy in front of me, he took a little bit longer than ours, is because when he would speak to him, first he had to talk to him, then the interpreter had to talk to him, because the judge had to talk to the interpreter had to talk to the defendant, and then translate what he says back to him.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that happen.
But me, I thought I was going to be in and out. I'm like, here, where do I pay the fine? I knew how much it was going to be. I looked. Well, it was a little bit more than I was expecting, because they gave us the fine, but it was for being in the park.
Oh my God.
So it was another $20. But I'm like, because I don't, there's a section in the newspaper where you could read what people got for their sentencing.
Oh, wow.
For like everything. Like
that's small town shit.
Well, it was Omaha. I mean, there's about 1 million people there, but still, they would have it all in that section, and you could read, so-and-so got this for possession, this person for trespassing, this person for... So I would read what the fine was, and it was a steady pattern for that same ticket to get the same thing. So I'm like... So I thought it was just going to be in and out. No.
Damn.
You should be a good kid. You should be going to school, doing your homework. You shouldn't be out drinking. Hey, I did go to school all week. I did my homework. What do you do when you get off work? You have a fucking beer. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably didn't go to school every day that week. I think it was at the beginning of the summer. That was my last, I thought it was going to be my last summer before graduating. So I didn't want to have a job. I was just going to have fun all summer. And then I got that and I ended up getting a job.
Well,
because I wanted to get a job so I could pay the fine myself.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to let the parents know. But of course, My dad had read the newspaper and saw my name in there and saw what my fine was. So that didn't work out.
How much of a lecture did you get from your dad?
He was more upset that I didn't tell him about it.
Oh.
He didn't really give me a lecture. My dad, he was a bar owner. He sold beer. Yeah. But yeah, I ended up working at a meat packing place for a little while. Didn't like that. Had to shave meat off of the bone with this knife. It's called a whizzer knife. It was like
a weird scraper thing.
You'd have the handle here and the blade would be round and it would spin. So you'd scrape, yeah. And at one point I stopped. They're like, what did you stop for? I'm like, the blade is smoking.
That adds flavor to the meat. Keep going.
They had to come over and put grease in there. Yeah, so because it was out of grease. I'm like, well, because you had a button to push to keep the blade going. But I didn't have grease for myself. I had to wear a steel mesh glove.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time I'd leave, all the outer clothing that I had on just covered in blood and stuff.
Damn.
And it did not affect my appetite for meat. I'd go order a burger right after I got out of there. It didn't affect me at all.
Oh, I just thought of something I saw the other day too. It goes back to the vegan thing. It was like, it was some comedian's fucking skit. I really wish I fucking thought of who it was. But it was basically, if somebody fucking knows who this is, just go ahead and comment. So somebody was like, oh, well, you're going to have a burger. You don't want to be there when they kill the cow, do you? He goes, no. They're like, well, he goes, I love my brother. I don't want to see my parents fuck. I'm like, that was beautifully put.
But, I mean, you want to see them pull the heads of lettuce? I mean, who goes and watches that? It's insane. Nobody wants to watch the sausage get made.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched sausage get made.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
I was watching some guy making some kind of I started to watch the video on YouTube last night. He was making some kind of, he was calling it he used a protein bar, but like, let's say we get to end of days and you need to have a bunch of stockpile of food, you can use this stuff. And he's like, well, first you have to start off with this fat. And he shows this fat he buys from some butcher, just this thick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then first he's talking about how easy this is to make.
You're making like pemmican?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he takes this fat and he puts it into this thing to grind, to grind it up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wait, what happened to this being easy? Now I'm looking, I have to find a butcher who's going to sell me this fat. Second, I have to find a fucking meat grinder. This is not easy. These are steps that I don't want to have to go through.
Yeah.
Can't you just sell it in a store?
Jake was talking to me about pemmican. He's like, yeah, because I was like, I wish there was just like, because how much efficiency stuff. Like, I wish there was just like one thing of like, this is all the nutrients you need, and I could just fucking eat that.
Oh, that'd be great.
And then like maybe I could spice it up a little bit, like change the flavor, figure out something. But like if I could find a base food that is everything a human needs, like to be super healthy, that would make it so easy. No, he's like, yeah, pemmican. I'm like, what was that fucking word? And then he explained to me what it is. I'm like, so I think you and me are thinking about two different things. I'm like, sure, that might be able to have like a stable shelf life for like 10 years because of how it's fucking prepared.
They said 20 years on what I was watching.
Like, depending on how you make it. So like up at a long fucking time.
See, but I could see using that for like a hike. But
that's on the shelf. That's not in the fridge. Like that's just open air, dry, whatever. And Jake's like, yeah, and it tastes fucking good too. I'm like, well, I know some of the things you eat. So
it's debatable. Taste is debatable.
Maybe it'll taste good, maybe it won't. But what you just told me is in it doesn't tell me that it actually has a lot of nutrients. Like it can get you by for a while, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know about like the optimum
everyday meal.
Yeah, no. So that's the only reason I know what it is.
Well, we need to get to the Jetsons. With the Jetsons, they just take a pill. Yeah. Or they take a pill and they drop a little water on it and they got a full cooked meal there.
Yeah, like Back to the Future. They just put the The
They
pizza
took a
and the
pizza and a
rehydrator.
Yeah, but not like on I think it was on the Jets that they put a little. Like, it looks like a little pill.
Yeah,
They
and then
dropped
it's a
drop
full
of water,
fucking meal.
and it's like a steak, potato.
I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we need.
Yep. Somebody invent that and let me know. Follow us, share stuff.
Buy merch.
You'll start. Oh yeah, buy merch.
I'm wearing the hat today.
You'll see a lot of clips coming soon. We're gonna start scheduling clips to fucking be dropped on everything. When you see them, like them, share them, comment.
Yes, please.
Let us know stuff. What you want us to talk about.
We didn't have tequila
what you want us
today.
to not talk about.
Tell us what you want to see us drink next time. Whiskey, tequila, scotch. Let us know.
Goodbye.